Our project is a capella. How is the music formed? By Jayden White and Nico Gruebel. Research questions. Our main research question was, how do a cappella groups create their music? Our next question was, do they create an a cappella version of a song themselves, or do they get the music already composed as an a cappella version? And if they do create it, how do they divide the instruments into voices? Another question we had is, if there is a specific genre that they enjoy doing a cappella for, what is it and why?
In order to help us answer these questions, we searched for and consulted 5 different peer articles, each one talking about a cappella in different forms, including how a cappella is constructed and formed in an a cappella ensemble. We also referred to a book on a cappella that Rose provided for us. Another thing that we did later on into our studies was interview members from 3 a cappella groups at UNH, Not Too Sharp, Alabaster Blue, and UNH Wild Tones. For each of them, we created a Google form that highlighted all of our questions and what we wanted to know, and we got a few responses. Each response was very well detailed and did give us an even deeper insight into how a cappella is crafted for ensembles.
A short history of a cappella. The earliest a cappella groups in New England appeared during colonial times as a church activity, but secular a cappella groups began in the early 19th century. The Wittenpoofs, known in part for the Wittenpoof song, are regarded as one of the oldest collegiate a cappella groups in the country, arising from the Varsity Quartet in 1909. A cappella forms such as doo-wop were popular with early African American vocal groups that appeared in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Collegiate a cappella groups rose to popularity in the 1980s and the 1990s, primarily mixed-gender a cappella groups. By 1980, there were 110 active a cappella groups in the U.S. By 1989, there were 225 groups, and by 1999, there were 319 more, according to Duncan 2012.
We discovered from Gressner's article on the Journal of Singing, So You Want to Sing a Cappella, that in contemporary a cappella groups, there are some voices that mimic percussion instruments, usually in the form of beatboxing. Along with this, Bennett mentioned that a cappella music has 6 to 8 parts, which can be difficult to teach at the same time. The arrangements they do at Not Too Sharp normally have bass, baritone, tenor, 1, 2, and 3 parts, and then vocal percussion and solo. But they may add another baritone or have top and bottom T1, top and bottom T2, and top and bottom T3, and more.
Song selection. Song selection is pre-composed or self-composed depending on the group. Bennett says, I just go off of what would make a good arrangement. I like music with multiple layers, interesting chords, and a form that does not repeat too much. We normally do pop music. Jazz is very difficult because the harmonies are tight and have notes that feel less intuitive. Savannah from UNH Wild Tones says, every group member gets to suggest a song and we vote. We love choosing songs from different genres. Typically jazz is more difficult, but so fun, and pop songs are easier. Nadia from Alabaster Blue says, to select pieces, everyone picks from one to pick and we vote on which ones we want. We stick to traditional pop. Song selection consensus. Our interviews revealed that all 3 of our interviewees remarked how they prefer to perform pop music. Out of the 3 of them, 2 of them said that they are not opposed to playing non-pop songs, but 2 out of 3 of them also said that jazz is the hardest genre to transition into an a cappella.
Bennett of Not Too Sharp says, arranging music in a cappella is like when you take a song that already exists and change the instrumentation. They normally transcribe the melody of the song first, then outline what they want the different sections to be like. For example, one section may be soft oohs, and another might have them all singing the words, and another might have a counter melody or something. Then they go section by section and try to sing through different ideas and write them down. They are aware of the music theory that goes into it, but they try and rely on their creative musical mind to hear the parts rather than coming at it from a theoretical perspective. Savannah says number of people per part, and the process involves transcribing the soloist part if there is one and coming up with creative lines for the rest of the group that follows the chord structure. And Nadia says they either do it as a group at Alabaster Blue or they hire a professional to do it. Basically, it's just listening to the background music of a song and splitting into 5 voice parts. In terms of balance, for example, Nadia is a soprano but sings a lot of tenor, alto, and mezzo to make sure the group is balanced. Our interviewees all discussed how they tend to arrange the pieces themselves. There are some groups that may have 1 or 2 people focus on arranging the song itself, but there are some other groups that just do it together. Nadia said, for example, that in Alabaster Blue, they'll sometimes hire a professional to transcribe the music for them. None of the 3 groups interviewed get the music prearranged. They arrange the melody of the piece first and focus on the other parts of the song afterwards, like the creative lines or their additions of the percussion line.
Arranging pieces consensus. Our interviewees discussed how they tend to arrange the pieces themselves. Some a cappella groups may have 1 or 2 people focus on arranging the song, while other groups do it together. Nadia said that they will sometimes hire a professional to transcribe the music for them. None of the 3 groups will purchase the music pre-arranged. They arrange the melody of the pieces first, then focus on the other parts of the song, such as the percussion line and the creative lines. Challenges and techniques. One of the questions we asked in our interview was if the groups performing a cappella and rearranging these songs faced any particular challenges or used any techniques to help them. Bennett says, I try to employ the ideas from choral singing, like being mindful of consonant pronunciation and vowel shape, to create a good ensemble blend, while also acknowledging that it is pop music, so certain techniques will be different from choral. Savannah says, some challenges include memorizing songs and having all the songs we want to perform ready in time. We like to focus on dynamics a lot. Nadia says, we struggle with rushing and speeding up throughout a song. Each song requires a different vocal technique and style that we work together to blend.
Ultimately, we found out that most a cappella groups on college campuses often arrange their own music, and not often borrowing from other a cappella groups. As far as genres go, pop was found to be the most popular and the most fun for most of a cappella members that we interviewed. Jazz, on the contrary, was the most difficult to perform. We found out that many challenges when arranging a cappella music stems from being able to sing as a group, and not just the composition of the music itself. This was a different main challenge than what we had been anticipating before we began our research. That said, knowing how many different parts you would have to arrange for, and how to select which parts people sing, definitely explains why singing as a group causes the most challenges for a cappella pieces.
Future questions. If we were to do a similar project in the future, or send out a new form to fill out, or interview new people, we wanted to think about other questions we could ask, such as how would the results would change if we interviewed more a cappella students and groups on campus? How would the results change if we branched out and interviewed a cappella groups that were not part of a college or on campus at UNH? We also wanted to know, what role does percussion and beatboxing play in each a cappella group?
These are our citations, with the book that Rose presented to us on the top, and the 5 papers that we found out and consulted on our own time, all the way down to the bottom. Any questions?
Thank you for watching our presentation.